1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I was dreaming, in my dreaming, well, of an aspect bright and fair. And my sleeping, it was broken, but my dream, it lingered near. In the farm of shining valleys, where the pure air rarefied, and my senses are newly opened, I will awaken into the cry that the people have the power to redeem the work of fools upon the meek. The grace is showered
heavens. Starting off the day with Patti Smith and Tina Turner. Got to be a powerful day, yes? So welcome to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. God, it's so good to see all your faces. I feel like I've been gone forever, so it's so good. Let's start off with our housekeeping. We're glad you're here. We are going to be recording for our social media, but we do not record the social time at the end. So if you want to turn off your name or your picture while we're doing the service, that's fine. We do ask that you don't use your chat much during the service because this really is a sacred time, and it's helpful to just focus in on what we are doing as a whole community. It's a wonderful time. It's now my pleasure to welcome and introduce our senior minister, Reverend Sharon Dunn. She has been an ordained Science of Mind minister for almost 6 years now and has been with us for almost 6 years now. She has a master's in consciousness and consciousness studies, although we keep saying she just has a master's in consciousness because that's what we think. But she embodies the vision and mission of this center. And I am so delighted to introduce her as our spiritual leader, Reverend Sharon.
Well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone. Let's all unmute and say good morning to each other on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Good morning, Marianne. Morning, Debbie. Monica. Patrick. Corey. Good morning,
Camera went out. I'm trying to get it back.
My wife up there.
Yeah. Love to all.
All right, everybody mute. Ooh. It's still going, but we have to get started. I think it just stopped. Can you believe that, Belle? That is something. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday service, our Sunday celebration in our virtual sanctuary. Our virtual sanctuary is what I'm calling this. And I have the honor and privilege of introducing our practitioner of the day, Margie, who I adore. I know we all do. But I say over and over again that the one thing I love about Margie and her power of prayer is that she prays into relevancy. She prays into what's happening right here and right now and lifts us up, doesn't she? So she's going to open our service today with the prayer and invocation and take us into our reading and our vision, mission, and purpose statement. Margie, take it away.
Thank you. So, in this sacred moment, I know that we are, and there is a cosmic connection to the one source, the one divine presence. And I know that we are all connected to this one source of good and love. And as I know this, I bless our service today, for we are so grateful to have everyone here. We're so grateful to have all the talents that help with our Sunday service every Sunday, putting it on the screen, bringing us together. And our message every Sunday is just phenomenal with Reverend Sharon, Reverend Patricia, Reverend Sandra, or whoever is our visitor. We're so blessed to get the message to carry us through the day. And as we enjoy today's service, we give thanks, and so it is. And our vision is we are a welcoming sanctuary community where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family. We inspire and nurture personal and global transformation through the teaching of science and mind is our mission. And our purpose is always in joy and love. We connect in service to all life. So enjoy our speaker, Laura Bourbon, today.
My word can move my soul where I can't imagine, but it is happening. One turn straight down that road could open up the door to so much more. I've been wasting my dreams on hours asleep. This time I believe words are worth saying, dreams are worth claiming. Now, hear me when I speak. And my fear is not real. No, no, no. It's just another lie, and it cuts me down to size. And I am here for the very first time. Yeah, I'm here like I am born again, and the world is opening. I've been wasting my dreams on hours I sleep. This time I believe that words are worth saying, dreams are worth claiming. Now, hear me when I speak. Hear me, oh, and it's the only voice that has changed my life. It's changed my life. It's changed my life. And it declares that happiness is my right. It's my right. My word can move But this time I believe, yeah, their words are worth saying, dreams are worth claiming. Claim it now, hear me when I speak, hear me when I speak, hear me.
We must think peace if we wish to express peace. The mind that is always confused and distraught is not at peace. The mind that is continuously upset, agitated by the little petty things of life is not at peace. It is at war with itself. It is only when the individual mind ceases combating itself that it will stop combating others. We do not know when that far-off divine event will transpire, which shall heal the world of wounds of war, the memories of ancient strife, and the anticipation of future struggle. All we know as individuals is that it is within our power to control our own thinking, to do so, to so order your own mind and thought that we, as individuals, shall be surrounded by peace. Dr. Ernest Holmes. New arts, new science, new philosophies, better government, and a higher civilization waits on our thoughts. The infinite energy of life and the possibility of our future evolution works through our imagination and will. The time is ready, the place is where we are now, and it is done unto all as they really believe and act. Dr. Ernest Holmes. There can be no problem that cannot be solved unless we assume that divine intelligence does not know what it is doing. We must realize that every human problem, whether it is personal or the problem of the survival of civilization, it is not a problem that cannot be solved, but merely one that has not been solved because it has not been properly presented to the intelligence that knows everything. The universe is one system, and if any prayer has ever been answered since time began, there was a principle, a law operating, and a way through which and by which it happened. Dr. Ernest Holmes. So it is. Try our guided meditation.
Let us now meditate. Feel your feet or your body on the ground. And allow this energy from the ground to move up your body so that you sit vertically. Breathe softly. As if your breath is like a wave meeting the seashore. As the sky meets the ground. Trust in this presence. Feel. Feel as if you are standing in a meadow on a beautiful sunny day. Sense this presence as if it's a scent of a rose. The beauty and feel the warm embrace of a joy, of a deep peace. Allow this to unfold like the blossoming of a flower. Know that you are loved and you are held by life.
Beautiful. So I'll say good morning again. And I want to start off by saying this is a giant week. This is a week that will never be again. A week that I'm looking forward to like I've never looked forward to a week before in my life. This is a week where our nation will be changed forever. The world then will be changed forever. This is a week that has a complex awakening. This is a week where 400 centers for spiritual living centers are coming together to speak into principle. And so today we are going to explore our values, our vision, and our principles. Whether you voted or not voted, we can stand for that and influence the world. It's a week where countless ministers and spiritual leaders all around the world are pulling from the best of who we are to speak into the best of who we can be. I got up this morning and I was so excited to be me and to be us, because it has taken a lot of spiritual practice, of spiritual soul searching to find my identity, to find the purpose for my life, the vision for my life, to be able to say something about this week that in my lifetime, with everything at stake that is at stake, is going on. And I get to know the truth, that uppercase T for truth, that is absolutely true for all. And to be that clear and that grounded in that purpose gives me pause. So thank you for hearing me. Thank you for being here. Each and every one of you who have decided to be here now, opening your heart and your mind to a spiritual message that we can live on for the next week. I applaud you. So our topic for today is bridges that last. And this is our last week in October. And in October, how profound and relevant have we been talking about cosmic connections? And what about Margie when she read our vision where she said where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family? All are accepted. Will you for 1 hour live that vision with me? Will you for 1 hour know that no matter how far right, how far left, how far out we are, or we perceive that we are from each other, we remember that we are all accepted. That alone is a spiritual practice that if you do nothing else with your life, that's enough. And you have to agree with me that not everyone is capable of holding that. And so we must stand for that above all so that we can influence the vibration of our experience. So, we had 2 books of the month. Next week, we start with a new book of the month, but this week is the end of our October book of the month. And the one I want to bring to light is More Together Than Alone from Mark Nepo. And I want to open with a quote. If peace comes from seeing the whole, WHOLE, not falling into a hole, stay with me. If peace comes from seeing the whole, then misery stems from a loss of perspective. Mark Nepo. Isn't that wonderful? That's wonderful. And so I'm going to talk about 3 things. I'm going to talk about bridges that last. I'm going to talk about creating a world that works for you. And I'm going to talk about creating a world that works for everyone. And before I get started, I want to remind everybody that next Sunday, we're starting November. That will be the day before the election. And it's Dia de los Muertos. So I invite you all to email a picture to me with a very short little bio of anyone you want remembered in our remembrance next Sunday, because I'm going to be creating a video. So please get it to me at the beginning of the week. No last minute pictures, please. And please participate. Send me your pictures of your loved ones, your beloveds, your four-leggeds, your slithering, your wingeds. Send me photos of those that we will be remembering next Sunday. And if you would like, you can also dress accordingly into your Dia de los Muertos. And I know we have Reverend Karina Shear here. She's here from Puerto Vallarta, and she will instruct any of us. If you need help, contact Reverend Karina. She is the senior minister and spiritual leader of the Centers for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. And I plan to visit her soon. So bridges that last. Think of the oldest bridges. Think of the world's oldest bridges. What makes them last through the test of time? A good foundation, right? The right materials, an engineer inspired to build something that will last for centuries. Are you getting the hint here about building bridges that last? Isn't that what we do here in our community? We not only build bridges that last in our own lives, we build bridges that last with our spiritual beloved, and we build bridges that will last with our community in Sacramento. We have Linda Connolly here, our practitioner who directs our outreach program, and she's scheming with her team how we can support our community in Sacramento during the holidays with shelter in place. We are creative beings. We are going to support our community somehow, in some way that's absolutely wonderful while staying safe. These bridges that we are building, these relationships that we are building, are sustainable. Isn't that what we talk about in principle? We talk about what can we do? What can we think? How can we live? What can we base our everyday life on that is sustainable, that is a bridge that lasts? We are the engineers, the spiritual engineers of our bridge building. And how many of us since March, how many of us have changed our ways to build these bridges even when we can't be together? Raise your hand if you've changed your behavior during this time so that you support the world rather than tear it down. Patrick, oh my goodness, love. I've seen it in all of you. So creating a world that works for you, creating a world that works for me, you understand that you can't create a world that works for everyone until we create a world that works for me, right? We're religious scientists. We can't do anything on the outside that we're not doing on the inside. You can understand where we're going here in this last week. You understand that you're going to be required in this next week to put on that spiritual armor and get out there as that spiritual warrior. Get out there. Where? Get out there in consciousness. Do not for 1 minute think that consciousness is not real. Just because it is virtual, it is in the transcendent realm, does not mean that it isn't real. In fact, it is more reality than with an uppercase R than our little reality with our lowercase r. So your life is a mirror. You are a reflection of your life's experience. Don't I often say, if you don't like what's happening in your life, do something about it? What do? Change your thinking. Well, if you don't like what's going on in the world, why don't you do something about it? Why don't we change our thinking together and unite? Unite. Do you see a world that works for everyone right now? Do you see a world that works for you right now? Do you see a world that feels free from discord? End of talk. Bye-bye. Wait a minute. Do you feel free from discord? Do you see where we're going here? Is there a little corner in your world where you're not feeling it? You got those feels going, not feeling so good? Do you see a world where all needs are met? Are your needs met? Or are you just settling? Are you settling? Have we got a little complacent? Is there a feeling a little bit of depression from the barrage, the onslaught, the incoming. Can you re-up here with me one more week? One more week at a time? But do you understand this week is almost stuck in my throat. It's got me so emotional and so ready to do my best. I'm on it. I'm dressed. I'm ready. Do you see a world where all people are living in peace? Are you living in peace? Creating a world that works for everyone begins here. And we can do it. Do you ever feel like you're just one person and there's not? What can I do? What can I do? I'm just one person. Anybody ever have that thought? Raise your hand if you've had the thought of, I'm just one person. What can I do? Are you living with self-realization and the fulfillment of your fondest dreams and desires? You know, I am right this moment. You know, and I think that's what it's about, is to get moment by moment and to put those moments together. I don't think we have to have it all done. I don't think we have to arrive. I think nirvana is minute to minute. And I think that we link that time together. Right here and right now, I am living my dream, my wildest dreams. Do you know why? Because my wildest dreams are you. Oh my God. My wildest dreams is to have a community, a spiritual community. And look what I'm looking at right here and right now. I'm looking at people from Kansas and Mexico and the Bay Area. It takes my breath away. Are we doing our own healing? And what is healing? There's nothing to be healed, only God to be revealed. And what is God? God is good. G-O-O-D. And so creating a world that works for everyone is to be active and participating in that belief, in that conviction, in that standing for something and against nothing, standing for love and unity. Oh gosh, I don't know about you, but have you been tempted recently to condemn? Have you been tempted to fight back? Have you been tempted to push your opinions? Have you been it just goes on and on. It just goes on and on. I think it's really important for me to reply and make sure that you have my opinion so that you change yours. How's that working for you? You know, as soon as I do it, I just don't even feel good. What am I afraid of? I have to ask myself every time, don't we? What am I afraid of? I'm afraid that what I believe isn't real, that there will be death to my belief, that your belief will overcome me and become my existence. In other words, I trade in my God for my opinion. Who does that? This is your spiritual leader. However, the good news is I catch myself because I'm practiced. It's just like those doctors, you know, when you go and they practice medicine, that used to always bother me. But then I realized they're practicing so that when they are needed, they are skilled. It's like a musician in an orchestra. It's not like they're practicing so that you're being practiced upon. I know the difference because I went to the dental college. Wow, if you want to get practiced on, go to the dental college in Sacramento. I've been there twice. Each time, my appointment was a short little visit lasting 4 hours. They looked in and out. They pounded and prodded and poked. They injected me and they cleaned and x-rayed and gagged me. And it was all free. But I've become quite a friend to my student dental hygienist. I've let her just do almost everything to me. And because I was there so long and my lip was so big, she said, make sure you don't eat when you have Novocaine in your lip. But I was starving. So I thought, oh no, I can do it carefully. And I have a hole in my upper lip. So not only do I let people practice on me, but I do not do what I'm told. And that is another sermon. So getting back to today, I want to talk about our core values. Just briefly, we used to have in our sanctuary on our banners that Doug Van Werkum hung for us so beautifully, so perfectly, and then had to take them all down and roll them all up so perfectly, so that when we get our new space, he's going to put them all back up again so perfectly. And what they said on them was our vision and our values, not only for the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, but for Centers for Spiritual Living, the mothership. And I think that what I want to leave you with today is a reminder of what we can hold this week, whether you have voted or not. If you haven't voted, you can use them to vote your values and your principles. And I did post this on our Facebook page where the Centers for Spiritual Living did such a beautiful job giving us a voter's guideline. And they included our values, our principles, our vision, so that if you needed a starting place of how to vote for these propositions, how to vote for these measures, how to vote for these candidates, how do we do that? Where do we start with all that's going on? Where do we start? We start with the truth. We start with our values. We start with our vision. And we look at each item and each issue. Does it match? Does it match? Is it as close to that as possible? So we as a community, because we have a 501c3 nonprofit status, we are never allowed, in fact, we can lose our status by claiming a particular candidate. We don't do that. And we here don't even speak into that, not here, not when we are together in our sanctuary, and not when we are together in our fellowship time at the end of Sunday service. We do not do that. We do not even give an inkling by making statements that could lead us into thinking one or the other. We honor, let me go back to our vision. We are a welcoming sanctuary community where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family. That's not what we're here for. We're not here. We're not here to convince anyone. What we're here to do is support one another, to stand for something wonderful. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the people in our organization who created our vision, our mission? They had to all come to the table together and decide what we were going to stand for. Can you imagine that work? Can you imagine when we were on our board retreat in Tahoe, when we had to decide what's our vision, mission, and purpose statement for our whole entire community? What is that banks of the river? What do we hold on to? Well, you know what? It was quite simple. You know why? We just let God do God's work. We let God's idea of itself become who we are. And so there's no bipartisanship. There's just love, and light, and unity, wholeness, prosperity, abundance, joy, harmony. Just breathe into that right now. Isn't that wonderful? We've made it simple. We've made it so simple that you can look at your brothers and sisters. And when they have an opinion, you can breathe into principle, breathe out condemnation, breathe into unity, breathe out opinion, breathe into humanity, breathe out individuality. This is going to be our work this week, isn't it? It's going to be like we're at the gym 24/7 trying to lose those last 5 pounds before the election. Those last pounds of heaviness that are laden, that hold us down to keep us from each other. That make me hate you. That make me want to unfriend you. That make me want to not be with you. That make me want to not have dinner with you. That breaks my heart. So let's just really quickly remember our American core values. One of them is liberty. Individual liberty, economic liberty, religious liberty, personal liberty, all persons having equal worth. Natural rights, our inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're getting there, guys, because this is the banks of the river of our country. We are going there. It may not look like it right now, but we are going where the vision leads us. Because until we change our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, until we change who we are, that is what's going to hold us. That's what's going to lead us, and that's what's going to return us to each other. So will you hold that this week for me? Will you breathe out the dissension, the dissonance? When you get charged, will you just breathe in unity, love, harmony, peace, and release, exhale, opinion, fear, condemnation. Our value is political equality, all free, encouraged to participate. Do you realize more of voting this election than ever in the history of our country? Wow. You know, I'm very emotional today, as you can tell, but I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm not alone, because guess what? You're all with me, right? Are you with me? Popular sovereignty. We're ruled by the people. We forget that sometimes, don't we? Did you just love that song at the beginning? Power, the people have the power. We have the power. Don't ever forget that. And minority rights, the need for a delicate balance of having an operational government that can function and avoid the excess of arbitrary rule. Everybody, everybody. Economic rights. We are about taking care of all of us, that no children go hungry. Food lines. No, we don't have food lines. And last, well, the last one I'm talking about today, just to get your juices flowing, right? Is government as responsive expectations by the people. We expect our government to work, to respond to us, and it does. Please, please don't indulge in hopelessness. Don't. Exhale, exhale, exhale with me. Separation of powers and checks and balances. It's why we've got the House and the Senate. And do you know that when we get frustrated with the House or the Senate, I don't know, has anyone ever done that? We can be grateful that we have the House and the Senate. We have a beautiful government, a government of the people. And quickly, let me just go over our CSL Centers for Spiritual Living values. Remember, accountability, open communication, financial health and prosperity, integrity, love, community service, safety, compassion and caring, spiritual living, diversity, inclusivity, education, transformation and evolution, creativity, continuous improvement. They left a little door open there, didn't they? Because we just want to know that we can continuously improve. Can you be with me this week in those little acts of self-forgiveness when our behavior hits the skids? Or would that just be me? Come on, guys. Come on. We have a big job this week. The Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living stands for our values and our vision. And so our vision for Centers for Spiritual Living, very quickly, is we see a world that works for everyone, where all life is honored as expressions of the divine, where people live according to spiritual truth, where unity and connection are emphasized, where humanity awakens to spiritual magnificence, where humanity rediscovers personal creative power, where we live as one global family. Let me say that one again. Where we live as one global family, where kinship with all life prospers, where spiritual guidance is valued. Aren't these beautiful? Where we are called to conscious social action. And haven't I called you this week? I've called you to social action, where people have enough food, homes, and a sense of belonging, where forgiveness is the norm, where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all, where there is a renewed emphasis on beauty, nature, creativity, art, and aesthetics, where resources are valued, cared for, and shared, and last, where communities are meaningful and involved in service to the world. We have our Declaration of Principles. I'm going to leave you with this. This is the Declaration of Principles was written by Ernest Holmes, our founder. He says, we believe in the unity of all life and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. And I'm going to end with a prayer. I'm going to get through this. This is a prayer written by Ernest Holmes. And after we finish service today, we're going to have our fellowship. And in our fellowship, you literally can go into another room from our Zoom room with a practitioner or a minister and get a 5-minute miracle and let go of anything in the way of your social activism this week. Ernest Holmes, I got this. Ernest Holmes writes, "My prayer for our country. Believing in the divine destiny of the United States of America and in the preservation of liberty, security, and self-expression, I offer this, my prayer for our country. I know that divine intelligence governs the destiny of the United States of America, directing the thought and the activity of all who guide its affairs. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are the gifts of freedom and are the divine heritage of everyone in this country. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are now operating in the affairs of every individual in this country. I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people of this country, causing it to know that economic security may come to all without the loss of either personal freedom or individual self-expression. I know that no one can believe or be led to believe that freedom must be surrendered in order to ensure economic security for all. The all-knowing mind of God contains the answer to every problem which confronts this country. I know that every leader in this country is now directed to this all-knowing mind and has the knowledge of a complete solution to every problem, and each is compelled to act upon this knowledge to the end that abundance, security, and peace shall come to all. And I know that this spiritual democracy shall endure guaranteeing to everyone in this country personal liberty, happiness, and self-expression. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. The poem I bring this morning is one I just finished writing earlier this week. It's all about praising and giving thanks. I'm calling it, and it is a rather long title, I Give Thanks for All That's Good in My Life, and So It Is. Now, that title also happens to be the repeating phrase that you'll hear me use at the end of each of the 6 stanzas of the poem. So if you would like to participate in the poem this morning, please join in when you hear me say that repeating phrase, which is, again, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. Some old cultures believed that when you woke up in the morning, the the first thing you did was sing, or the sun wouldn't rise. How strange that sounds today, but think about it. If we began each day with praise, imagine how this could reshape our entire world. Some old cultures believe that when you woke up in the morning, the first thing you did was sing, or the sun wouldn't rise. How strange that sounds today, but think about it. If we begin each day with praise instead of the news, imagine how this could reshape our entire world. So let's start praising right now by saying, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. St. Augustine said, God has many that the church does not, and the church has many that God does not. St. Augustine said, God has many that the church does not, and the church has many that God does not. Friends, it's not in the pew where we need to kneel. When caught in the deep difficulties of life, let's always remember to ask, shall I grow today through suffering or through choice? How we answer that question will impact the rest of our entire lives. Won't you join with me now and say out loud, I give thanks for all that is good in my life, and so it is. A wise person once told me, being truly spiritual means being fully intimate with whatever's in front of you, no matter what. A wise person once told me, being truly spiritual means being fully intimate with whatever's in front of you, no matter what. Praise God, when faced with any challenge now, large or small, I am finally learning to ask, shall I see this as a blessing or as a curse? Please don't join me in my crucifixion. Instead, join me in my resurrection. And then together, let's say, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. Rainer Maria Rilke said, if we know how a willow tree is shaped underground, we can see it more clearly above. Rainer Maria Rilke said, if we know how a willow tree is shaped underground, we can see it more clearly above. As our understanding grows deeper, we become more clearly that place where inner and outer meet. The cynic only sees life in parts and complains. The mystic sees life as whole and praises. Choose a new life now and call out with me, I give thanks for all that is good in my life, and so it is. Robert Bly wrote in one of his poems, if you want the magical thing hidden from all others, then you'll have to live a life full of exaltation. Robert Bly wrote in one of his poems, if you want the magical thing hidden from all others, then you'll have to live a life of exaltation. Just hearing that line spoken out loud makes me want to say, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. Last stanza. I believe if everyone pointed their prayer rugs towards heaven, we'd all be facing each other. When we finally choose to stop living in judgment of ourselves and others, the war is over. I believe if everyone pointed their prayer rugs towards heaven, we'd all be facing each other. When we finally choose to stop living in judgment of ourselves and others, then the war is over. Friends, perhaps the promise of eternity is this. Once you find the center in everything, You will never be alone again. Friends, perhaps the promise of eternity is this. Once you find the center in everything, you will never be alone again. Now, isn't that enough to make anyone say, I give thanks for all that's good in my life? And so it is.
Doug, that was, for me, amazing and inspiring. Thank you so much. It really connected for me. Thank you. We are offering you the opportunity to give. What way have you been given to this morning? What are you taking away into this week? Take a moment to note that in your thoughts, in your feelings. This is your opportunity to give financially. I know we give in many ways, and on the screen you can see that we can give at our website. We can mail a personal check. And if we have any trouble with this, reach out to someone who's on the board, Reverend Patricia or whomever. Join with me, muted, in saying our abundance affirmation. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share and my willingness to share it. Being in the flow of the law of circulation, knowing that my gift returns to me multiplied many times over. And so it is.
So I know Reverend Patricia is going to come over here and give us our announcements. She is muted, so she's going to unmute and show her beautiful smile.
Sorry about that. We had cats having a tussle outside.
Oh my goodness.
To go save my cat.
It's a week.
What a week. Announcements. We are having a Board of Trustees meeting today, 30 minutes after the end of our fellowship time. As always, all are welcome. It's the same Zoom call-in number that you use to get into the service. One of the things we're talking about today is where we are with our lease with the building that we have left and what our future plans are. So you are encouraged to come and join us for that discussion. It will be at the beginning of the meeting, so you don't have to stay for all of it if you don't want to. Some of us really like board meetings and some don't. But we're a good group. We don't bite and we don't argue and we don't fight. So come join us. We are continuing our Wisdom Wednesdays, and Reverend Sharon has a really special one planned for this Wednesday. She was talking about it yesterday during our rehearsal, but I'm not going to spoil it. I don't do spoilers. Come. It will be a wonderful evening to spend together. On October, it says October 14th, but it's not. It's this Wednesday. Now, as Reverend Sharon mentioned, we have a complimentary spiritual mind treatment in a private breakout room within Meetup. So if you are interested, please put it in the chat so we know to put you off into a room, and it will only be 5 minutes, and then you can come back and join the social time if you want, or continue on the rest of your morning. But this is a gift that the practitioners offer to our group. It really is a chance to do a breakthrough to whatever you want to have in your life. And for everything else, please watch our website, our Meetup, our Facebook page, Has everything you want to know about what we're doing, where we're going, who we are, and why we are. So please join in. It also, the Facebook page has a link to our Sunday services. If you feel moved, please send the link to someone in your life that needs the uplift, the inspiration, and the connection that we offer here every Sunday morning. Thank you.
Please join us in our closing song. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. You are my reflection. There is only one.
And so our gift for the week is our affirmation. I am an important part of the people in a world that works for everyone. Who I am makes a difference. And so please remember to stay with us for our fellowship and our complimentary 5-minute spiritual mind treatment. And for our benediction, what a blessing. As we end our morning, our time together, realizing that we are bridges. We are bridges of peace and love and acceptance. That is who we are as a community, as a world, and most important, as individuals. Friends, as individuals, we build this foundation of love and truth and oneness. And it is from this foundation that our bridges are built for that peace and that love and for that acceptance. And so that is what we will take with us today out into the world. And we will remember as we end our day to give thanks. To give thanks for all that is good in our life. And so it is.
Thank you so much. Hi,